It looked like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career. Chennedy Carter just committed career suicide on national TV. In a split second, she went from WNBA star to league outcast. All it took was one push on Caitlin Clark and boom, career implosion. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the push. Carter's been a walking disaster, fighting with teammates left and right now. She's lost her fourth team. I don't know why people be so surprised. Oh my God, Chennedy Carter, deserve a play? Why? Like, did y'all forget all of the events that transpired last year with her and Caitlin Clark, and then she refused to own up to what she did? What organization you want to deal with? That four teams, can you imagine being so talented yet so toxic that four teams took one look and said thanks but no? Thanks, some might argue it was just a push, but the Chicago Sky saw it differently. They didn't offer her a core designation or a long-term contract. And now, just like that, she's out. Imagine losing your job over one reckless move. Now, we all remember what happened on that fateful day last year, bro, when she took it upon herself to put her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlin Clark. I knew then her future was not going to be very bright, bro. Let's break down how Carter went from rising star to radioactive in record time. The Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever were back at it. Their rivalry as intense as ever. The entire arena felt like it was holding its breath. Clark was on fire, sinking shots left and right, while Carter grew more frustrated with every play. You could see it in her eyes. Then, bam, out of nowhere, Carter loses it and shoves Clark so hard the whole place goes dead silent, like someone hit the mute button on the entire arena. Look at what just transpired between Carter and Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, with refs are standing there shocked. And Carter's just standing there like nothing happened. But here's where it gets wild. Clark is just standing there looking confused, like, did that really just happen? One eyewitness said Clark looked like she couldn't believe what just went down. I mean, that's clearly now, this wasn't just any push. This was Carter shoved her whole career off a cliff. And trust me, you're going to want to hear what happened next, because this is where things really start to unravel for Carter. So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reed, with Kamala Cardoso. And, you know, the rest of the folks, and then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled and away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part. The crowd is gasping in shock, like they just saw a ghost. And the players on the court are all frozen in place, one scout at the game said. I've never seen anything like it. You could see the frustration boiling over. Can you believe that an actual scout saying that? In all his years of watching basketball, there was that. Right there, I believe, was the push that altered her career. And I'm telling you right now, it's not looking good for Chennedy Carter. But wait, it gets even crazier. You know what Carter does after this whole mess? Absolutely nothing. No apology, no explanation, nothing. She just shrugs it off like it's no big deal. When reporters try to ask her about it, she says, I'm not answering any Clark questions. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Chennedy Carter then, what's crazy about all this, immediately after that push, this is what she said to the media on the play before bumping in with Caitlin. It seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the K. Clark questions. Did she say anything to you? I don't know what she said, what you say to her. I didn't say anything. Now, the WNBA officials are not messing around. They took one look at that push and called it a flagrant foul, unnecessary and reckless. They said, can you imagine being in a league where pushing someone could be called unnecessary and reckless? It's not like we're talking about tackle football here. Now, a lot of people was kind of surprised by this. I'm not, because I know you know what I'm saying. What she did to Kayla Clark was completely unnecessary. And I'm here to tell you guys she's living with that decision today because she is without a job. But here's the real kicker. The scouts and executives at the game are mentally crossing Carter's name off their list faster than you can say career suicide. 1 minute she's a hot prospect, the next she's radioactive, all because of one push and a bad attitude. When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese. He talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows. You might be wondering why this is such a big deal. Well, let me tell you, it's not just about the push, it's about what it represents. Carter didn't just push Clark, she pushed against everything the WNBA is trying to build. A league of role models, a league of professionals, a league that's finally getting the ition it deserves. And Carter just threw all of that out the window with both hands. One person said, we still can't be doing this every year. Chennedy Carter is the reason WNBA won't take a risk on her now. You might be thinking, okay, Carter messed up, but surely some team will give her another shot. Right, wrong, dead wrong. The Chicago Sky didn't just bench Carter. They completely cut ties with her. No long-term deal, no core designation, nothing. They basically said, thanks for playing, now get out. Can you believe it? This is a team letting their leading scorer walk away without even trying to get something in. Return, that just doesn't happen in the WNBA. She gets no offer to return from the Chicago Sky, which a lot of people have been feeling by her social media posts that she got quite offended by. Well, now she's so toxic, GMS won't even pick up the phone when her agent calls. How does a top player become untouchable that fast? The answer is going to shock you, and there's not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency. So a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, is she worth the risk? Now, it's not just about that one push. Carter's history runs deep, and it's uglier than we thought. She was an exceptional talent, graduating from Texas A&M, and getting drafted by the Atlanta Dream as the #1 pick. But instead of building on a bright future, she chose to throw it all away. Let's get into it. Come on, cheer for your teammates. Be a part of this team, and then ensues an altercation between the two where Chennedy Carter was sent to the locker room mid-game, of which afterwards, after the game, this is what has been reported, I guess Chennedy Carter wanted to fight Courtney Williams, like physically fight Courtney Williams, who backed away from this and was like, no way. So there was no actual physical altercation that happened. That's right. Back when she was with the Atlanta Dream, she got into it with Courtney Williams, and I mean, really got into it. Carter was ready to throw down right there on the court. And keep in mind, Courtney is one of the nicest people in the league, someone who avoids drama. Now imagine being so problematic that you start a fight with her. So what did the Atlanta Dream do? They had no choice. They suspended Carter and then shipped her off in a trade. Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles Sparks, and it didn't stop there. When Carter landed with the Los Angeles Sparks, you'd think she'd learned her lesson, right? Nope. She ended up riding the bench because of, you guessed it, poor conduct. It's like she can't help but cause drama wherever she goes. Listen to this. She ended up playing a lot less minutes there, and the reasoning that these Sparks were saying that she was playing less minutes was because of poor conduct. And that was the 2022 season. Then in the 2023 season, the Sparks just decided to release her in the offseason. Now, you might be wondering, how bad could it really be? Well, let me tell you. One WNBA executive, and I'm not making this up, said they wouldn't touch her with a 10. F it and pull. That's how radioactive Carter's become. It's not just one team or one GM, it's the entire league giving her the cold shoulder. None of the teams were willing to pick her up after that. So she ends up going over to Turkey, playing in Turkey, of which she balled out. So then the W team started looking at her again and being like, maybe we should give this person another chance. So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Cameo Cardoso, and you know the rest of the folks. And here's the kicker. The Chicago Sky's decision to let Carter go without even trying to keep her, that's a red flag so big you could see it from space. In the WNBA, teams don't just let their top scorers walk away for nothing. When a team does that, it's because the locker room issues are so bad he'd rather have no player than deal with the drama. I mean, look, maybe she's part of the culture problem, but that's very interesting. Think about it, Carter's talented, no doubt about it. She's got hops. She can finish at the rim. She's practically unguardable when she's on her game. But none of that matters if you're a nightmare to work with. Basketball's a team sport, and if you can't play nice with others, all the talent in the world won't save you. It was Chennedy Carter. She kept going back and forth to and from the bench, and I just kept waiting for her to come back in because she was the absolute most magnetic player on the court. She's listed at 5'9". I don't know why in my memory she was 5'8", but she's listed at 5'9". Does not come across as tall whatsoever, but she has hops, she has finishing. She does not have a three-pointer, but the way that she moves, she's I don't know if she's the fastest guard in the league. So what's next for Chennedy Carter right now? She's an unrestricted free agent, but the phone isn't exactly ringing off the hook. Teams are running scared, worried about bringing that kind of drama into their locker room. It's a long fall from being a top draft pick to being radioactive in the league. And all because she couldn't keep her cool on the court. I mean, she can score with the lights out. I mean, she's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard, instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't. Okay, so Carter's lost her spot on the team, but surely her teammates have her back, right? Wrong. We're talking full-on mutiny here, and it's spreading like wildfire through the locker room. Players are coming out of the woodwork to spill the tea. It's not pretty, you might think. Come on, it can't be that bad, but trust me, it's worse than you can imagine. I mean, good luck. Good luck. I don't know who's going to take her. I don't know what teams are going to take her. No, I don't think she's going to the Indiana Fever. I mean, yeah, bring her in. After what happened, I don't think so. Let's start with the bombshell one of Carter's own teammate, and we're talking someone who shared the locker room with her, said she's a locker room cancer. We're better off without her. Can you believe it? This isn't some random bench player throwing shade. We're talking about star players, the ones who are supposed to have each other's backs no matter what. And it gets even juicier. Angel Reese Carter's supposed partner in crime, she unfollowed Carter on social media in the WNBA. That's like slamming the door in someone's face and changing the locks. It's a public declaration that says we're done.